Katamacha bhikkhave Sammā-sati idha bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kāyānupassi viharati ātāpi sampajāno satima vineya loke avicchāro manassam vedanasu vedanānupassi viharati ātāpi sampajāno satima vineya loke avicchāro manassam Chitte chittānupassi viharati ātāpi sampajāno satima vineya loke avicchāro manassam Dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati ātāpi sampajāno satima vineya loke avicchāro manassam Ayam uccati bhikkhu Sammā-sati evam ko bhikkhave bhikkhu attadipo viharati attasarano ananyasarano Dhammadipo dhammasarano ananyasarano. So let's discuss what does Buddha say on Sammā-sati, which is usually translated as right mindfulness, one of the important aspects of Eightfold Path, a part of Samadhi, which is meditation or concentration. But I will translate sati more as memory, because during the Buddha time, they used to remember all these teachings in the form of words, in the form of chanting. They used to chant on this, the whole Tipitakas. I only chanted like 4 or 5 lines or a little more, but they used to chant whole Tipitakas, the whole of Buddha's teachings. They used to have immense amount of memory, so that definitely should be a part of Eightfold Path. And when we say Buddhānusati or Maranānusati, what do we do when we do Buddhānusati? We recollect all the qualities of the Buddha. We have the perception of the death when we are doing Maranānusati. This is all recollecting from the memory or some aspect of perception also in there. So this is what is Sammā-sati. Now let us see what Buddha talks inside of Sammā-sati. So there are 4 objects here: Kaya, Vedana, Chitta and Dhamma. Okay, Kaya is body, Vedana is coming from the root word Ved, which means to know. So to know any experience that can be bodily, physical feeling, physical sensation or mental sensation is Vedana. Chitta means mind, anything arising from mind. And Dhamma or Dhammesu dhammānupassi viharati is the 4th object, goes into much more detail of the contents of this mind, which are deeply rooted. So now, the easier way would be to understand one object of Vedana, which is experience. And hence that specifically the bodily experience, because it will be easy to give examples of that. So when Buddha says Vedanesu Vedanānupassi viharati, Vedanānupassi is made up of 2 words, Vedana and Anupassi. Now, Anupassi is also made of 2 words. Anu, literally meaning something that follows, comes after. Passana or Passi, the word comes from to see, to observe. So Anupassi means to observe the moment that follows right after what? When one feels a sensation in one moment, only in the next moment can one know about the previous moment. So, to vihar, to dwell in this knowledge or experience or seeing of this Vedana, Vedanesu Vedanānupassi viharati. Ātāpi, meaning, the literal translation is ardently or keenly, but I would translate it as, or Buddha would say, the word itself means tak, meaning heat, or so Ātāpi, meaning that something with heat. The effort, we can relate it with heat. Whenever there is effort, there is heat, there is some force, some energy in there to put it into the action. So Ātāpi, I would translate it as continuous effort, whereas keenly or ardently could mean only when one is motivated, strongly motivated, then one will do. One might not interpret it as continuous effort, but here from the Pali you can see that it means continuous effort. So dwelling, seeing, feeling, aspect of feeling and feeling the moment, each moment, continuous effort. Samvit sampajano. Sampajano. Sam meaning thoroughly or entirely. Prajna in Sanskrit or pajano in Pali. Pra means something prime, important. Okay, and Jnana means to know, knowledge, wisdom. Okay, so Sampajano means to have a thorough knowledge of something that is very important. What is the core important teachings, the universal elements of Buddhism, or what Buddha taught is Trilakkhana, that is the three characteristics of Dukkha, Anicca and Anatta. Knowing that there is suffering, the painful present and neutral feelings, and knowing there is Anicca and Anatta, meaning impermanence and not what is not self. So any of these five aggregates that a being is made of is not self. So when one is dwelling, knowing this Vedana, experience of the Vedana, one is knowing that, okay, this experience is impermanent. It will pass away. It is not something to contemplate on. One has not to dwell in it forever, but one has to move further with continuous effort. So, and with the knowledge of wisdom of Anatta, non-self, whatever is happening is not happening on my body. So seeing it as just a stream of river passing by, and you are sitting on the river bank and seeing the sensations in each moment as the passing river, as seeing it as objectively, equanimously, not seeing it as the feeling of the self, the knowledge of the self. So, and Sampajano, when one starts, it's not 100%. It develops slowly. So we might not have perfect, thorough wisdom in each moment, but it grows as the awareness grows. Sampajano, Satima. Two words cannot have the same meaning. Sampajano meaning is the awareness aspect of wisdom. So Satima would be the investigation or memory aspect of the mind. So Sati is very easily translated as memory, with the memory of what? The instructions on what Buddha said, how to do Kaya Sati or Vedana, so Vedananupassi. There is much more detail when we see in Digha Nikaya. Each of these four objects are further explained on how to practice on it. So when one has learned this teaching, one has memorized it, then one can investigate on it, contemplate on it in our day-to-day life. And when one has remembered this in our teachings, in our memory, then can one apply when we are observing in each moment. So the whole line is Vedana, so Vedananupassi viharati ahtapi sampajano satima vinaya loke apicchado manassa. Vinaya means without any remainder, letting go, eradicating of any attachment, not even a single hint of it. Of what? Loke, worldly. Lok means world. Avijja domanasa, to let go of worldly what? Domanasa means aversion or deeper aspects of it, even ill will or irritation towards some feeling or sensation or experience will be considered in this. Also, when one do not like certain identity of oneself and one wants to get out of this identity very strongly, is also in this. So vibhava tanha comes under domanasa. That is the craving for non-becoming. And avijja means craving, literally. But when we look deeper, it is also a strong desire or the lust. When one strongly desires to get into some identity, form some identity around the self. This is also bhavatanha and kamatanha, both comes under avijja. So, completely eradicating the worldly craving and aversion for such things. One is just dwelling, knowing this feeling as that after the next moment it happened. It might not be in slow motion that much, but one is observing with continuous effort in each moment, along with our developed wisdom, applying the memory, the instructions that we already have. So this is the meaning. Now this is applied to all the four objects. So Buddha here is not telling that meditation or sati is only when one is sitting in the meditation or when one is walking, but it is in each moment when one can see any of these four aspects or all of these four aspects as they are happening, then one is having the Sammā-sati. And the last line that I recited, it is coming from Cakkavatti-Sīhanāda Sutta. It is the sutta on what are the duties of the righteous king, who is living righteously, living according to the Dhamma. So the sutta is on that, and in the starting of that sutta, Buddha is instructing that be your own island with no other island than yourself, and Dhamma is your island with no other island than Dhamma. So how can one have oneself and Dhamma as the island? And then he points exactly to these lines on Sammā-sati, that by practicing Sammā-sati, you will be one's own island because you have all this teaching in your memory, in your sati. By this way, practicing situational awareness when we are walking, talking, sleeping, sitting, speaking, doing daily activities, daily chores, eating, urinating, defecating, bathing, exercising, just extending one's arm, one should be aware, oh, I did this. Of course, I'm not 100% aware right now when I am recording this video because, I'm not fully enlightened. So, but even a small movement of a hand, one should know that, oh, this is what I'm doing or what this being is doing. Anyways, you understand my point. So having this situational awareness in each moment, one can go more in depth on the concentration aspect, which is the next aspect of the Eightfold Path. And there are previous teachings before getting into meditation, which has sila, that is the ethics, and some other practices as well. Like you can refer to the gradual training guidelines. Okay, I will link that sutta down, but it is somewhere in the Majjhima Nikaya. An English translation of that name is gradual training, gradual practice, gradual progress. And there the steps are listed on how to get to the situational awareness. So there are 4 to 5 steps before, essential steps before going to situational awareness. So as one practices gradually through the steps, one easily flows to situational awareness. There is not much to be done other than continuous effort, of course. So this is what Sammā-sati is in Buddha's words. I hope to bring more content like this in the future. And thank you so much.